Assalamualaikum, Mustafa.
Alaikum salam.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. I'm good. How was your day today, Mustafa?
It was pretty good. It went by pretty fast. Just had a lot of tests and exams and stuff.
It's just
How
unit
about
tests
yours?
or what is that? Is right
Hmm?
regular test or
I had a CBA and a unit test, and then we had to write an essay for ELA.
hmm. So how is your geometry going, Mustafa?
The teacher's been absent for 2 weeks, so we don't really do anything in this class.
Hmm.
I just do some Khan Academy topics every day, and that's about it.
What topic? What actual unit are you studying now? Is it right?
On Khan Academy,
Yeah, in geometry. What topic?
um, in school, um, I'm not too sure because we haven't really done a lesson in a while, so I don't really remember. But the last thing I do remember was um there's two triangles. Each point has like A, B, C, D, and then it's just kind of like this triangle equals this triangle.
Congruent triangles.
Yeah, congruent triangles.
I see. We are so very behind because congruent triangles, after that, similar triangles, and after that, right triangles in trigonometry. Then you have, uh, what is it? Polygons and transformations and circles. We have a lot of topics. I think you're very, very, what is it? Behind the schedule. Because usually now
Yeah,
you must be studying at least polygons now, at least, or transformations.
I mean for us, it's like I think we went a bit different than the normal units because I'm pretty sure we already did polygons like second or third quarter.
But polygons come after triangles, you know. Triangle, it has three sections, congruent triangles,
Mhm.
similar triangles, and right triangles, and what is it? Trigonometry. And after that, it is polygons, and after polygons, transformations. And after transformations, then what is it? Circle in coordinate geometry. Okay, it's okay, no problem. And of course, if there's no teacher, it's a problem. Also at our school, my kids, their algebra 2 teacher, she is absent for like almost 2 months. And it's a problem, it's a big problem because you're losing almost 1 year. It's affecting next year. And after that, people complain why the students don't understand. Okay, Mustafa. Yeah, actually, if we have more time, I would teach you also geometry, but we don't have that much time. Last time, Mustafa, we studied with you, what is it? Linear inequalities. And now we will study system of linear inequalities or compound inequalities. Okay. So what is actually compound inequalities? Compound inequalities means that it is two or more inequalities to be solved together or simultaneously. Okay, that is what we mean by uh, what is it? Compound inequalities. I can write here the two or more inequalities that should be solved simultaneously. Simultaneously. Okay. That's what we mean by uh, compound inequalities. It's like system of inequalities. Usually after studying equations, right? And then you study system of linear equations. That means you have to solve two equations together. And after that, system of equations, maybe three equations we have to solve together, and four and five. Usually in algebra, they are linear equations. Linear means that all variables are, what is it, multiplied by a number. Okay. So the first type, what is that? It is OR. Okay. Now we're going to see two different types of compound inequalities. One is OR, another one is AND. Okay, last time, if you remember, we talked about or in math. If I say A or B, So that means that either A is true or B is true or both are true. Okay, that means that at least one of them is true. It means this. But and both must be, if you're talking about two statements, right? Let's say uh, I am going to do my homework and read a book. Okay, so that means that now you are promising to do two tasks together. But if you're just doing your homework but not reading a book, that means that you do not keep your promise because you say that you're going to read a book and do your work, right? Homework. But if you say that I am going to do my homework or read a book, if you just do your homework or read a book or doing both, that means that it's like you keep your promise. You're not telling a lie, something like that. So what do you write like this? This one is, you see, if you look at this number line, what do you see here? You see the x values, right? It is less than or equal to -4. You see that here. Let me use red. You can see better. X is less than or equal to -4, right? Or, or it is, what is it? X is greater than 1. Now, how should I understand this graph? It means that you're talking about the numbers that are less than or equal to -4 or greater than 1. In interval notation, how do you show this? In interval notation, last time also we used this. I should just combine this. So how do I combine this? X is less than or equal to -4 means that -infinity, right, to -4. And inclusive, because we have equal sign. In math, or we use union. Union. And here we have 1 to positive infinity. This is how we describe this using mathematical language. Okay, or. So that is from -infinity to -4, inclusive, or 1 to infinity. Okay? And now let's practice this or inequalities, or inequalities that has or. Can you read this, Mustafa?
To solve OR inequalities, solve each part, then graph on the line on the number line to show the solution.
Okay, to solve or inequalities, solve each part separately, then graph on a number line to show the solutions. Like, for example, 3x plus 4 less than or equal to 10, or 5x is greater than 45, right? If you solve the first one, Mustafa, I'm just going to solve in one step, okay? First, I move 4 to the right-hand side. 10 minus 4 is 6. Divided by 3, it is 2, right? Can you see that?
Mhm.
Or x is greater than what?
But 9,
9. Now I'm going to graph this. X is less than or equal to 2. So we have 2 here, inclusive, right? And less than, it is pointing to the left. Or greater than 9. So here we have greater than 9. And how about interval notation? From -infinity to 2, inclusive, or, that means union, right? Instead form we use or, this union. And from 9 to positive infinity. Okay, it's that easy. It's not really hard. And how about question 2, n plus 6, less than or equal to 5, right? So if you solve this, n is less than or equal to what?
um, -1,
-1. Or can you solve this mentally and tell me what is n? N is greater than what?
36. No, wait.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, 36.
36 and then divide 9 from both sides. 4.
4. So n is less than or equal to -1. Here we have -1 inclusive and pointing to the left. Or greater than 4, not inclusive, right? Pointing to the right. Okay, so in interval notation, from -infinity to -1, inclusive, or union, 4 to positive infinity. Okay, that's it, Mustafa. That's not hard, but just two things we have to solve together and write a single solution. Now you try question 3. Write in your notebook, solve it, and tell me the interval notation. The graphing part we will do together.
I think I got it.
Yeah, what is it?
Y is greater than or equal to 5, or Y is less than or equal to -3.
Okay. Or y is less than or equal to -3, right? So what is 5? 5 is here, right? So
Hmm
5 is here. It is greater than, pointing to the right. -3 is here, again inclusive, pointing to the left, right? Now, if you write in interval notation, can you tell me the interval notation, Mustafa?
Um, wait.
Parentheses, right?
Yeah, parentheses. Y, negative infinity,
Uh-huh.
5,
-5,
-5. That,
bracket, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
U for
Union.
union, and then parentheses,
No, bracket,
or wait,
inclusive, right?
yeah, bracket, and then -3.
No, this one is 5, right?
Oh, wait,
This should be 3, I think. We made a mistake here.
yeah,
This should be -3.
and then 5 to
-3 is
infinity.
here, like this, right?
Hmm
Okay. 4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A is greater than -1, or A is less than -5.
-5 or 6?
Oh, wait. So 2, -5. No, wait. My bad. -6.
Okay. So A is the first one, right? A is 2 greater than -1, right?
Hmm
Greater than -1. Or this one is A is less than -6. So -6 is here, not inclusive, less than, pointing to the left. And -1 is here, right? Greater than, pointing to the right. And how about interval notation?
Um, parentheses, infinity,
-infinity, comma,
-infinity, comma, -6, um, and then union, parentheses, um,
-1, right?
-1,
To positive
parentheses,
infinity.
yeah.
Okay, good. All right, we have two more. Let's also do these questions. Okay, 5. Yes, Mustafa.
I'm almost done. Hojam,
Yeah.
for the second one, you know how you multiply both sides by 3? Do I multiply the 15K and the negative 9 by 3 as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I mean, here, did you open the parentheses or the first one, for example, or divide both sides by three in the first
Oh,
step?
I did the first one. I did the first one. I'm talking about the second one.
Okay. I mean, you can also open the parentheses, but both sides are divisible by three, right?
Uh-huh.
If you just 3 by 3, you can get much simpler equation, right? 5 minus 2k is less than negative 4. I divided both sides by 3. And now
How about this
subtract, yes.
like the second one? You know, it's 1 over 3. So you multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of
You can
the
also
1 over 3.
but also here inside the parentheses, if you look at the numbers, they are both divisible by 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here in the second one, if you open the parentheses, it's better.
Mm.
Because
Okay.
both numbers are divisible by 3, that's why if you just open this, I have here 5k minus 3 is less than or equal to negative 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then from there,
So the first one, what did you get for the first one?
I got K is greater than 3. Negative 3, my bad.
3?
Negative 3, negative 3.
The first one.
Wait. Um, 27 over 6, 3, 3 over. Yeah. Did I do something wrong?
If you move negative 4 to the left hand side or took it to the right hand side, so we have this, right? Or also you can do like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I subtract 5 from both sides. Negative 2k is less than negative 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you divide both sides by negative 2, k will be greater than 9 over 2.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say 3?
Yeah, because I had done it where to get rid of the parentheses, I just did 3 times 5 and then 3 times negative 2x.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you
And then
do
I
it like
got,
this, then it is 3 times 5, 15. 3 times 2, 6, right? Move 15 to the right
uh-huh,
hand side. Negative 12 minus 15 is negative 27, right?
uh-huh.
If you divide negative 27 by negative 6, you get 9 over 2. Because both numbers are
Interesting.
divisible by.
Ooh, I see where I made the mistake. Yeah, that makes more sense. Mm.
Okay? And how about the
Mhm.
second one, Mustafa?
Second one, so plus 3 is 0, 5. K is less than or equal to 0.
That's it. So that's greater than or equal to 9 over 2. 9 over 2 is 4.5, right? So that is here, not inclusive, to the right. And less than or equal to 0, inclusive, pointing to the left, right? So that
Mhm.
is negative infinity to 0, inclusive, that's inclusive here, union, and from 9 over 2 to infinity. Okay. That's the question
Mhm.
6, Mustafa. That's the fast. Because, the ideas are the same, just a little bit concept. Math, this is how we develop. Every time we just need a new concept, but still you're using fundamental skills. That's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and distributive property. That's it. Yes, Mustafa.
Not the finish, like at the end. Okay. So for the first one, x is greater than or equal to 23. And then for the second one, x is greater than negative 11 over negative 3.
That's not correct, Mustafa. In very basic things, you are making a mistake. The first one, you multiply both sides by -3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you multiply by -3, I have here 8 minus x greater than or equal to, because by multiply by negative number, we need to reverse the inequality symbol. -5 times -3 is 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the left-hand side, I have +8, right? So to eliminate this +8, we need to subtract. So negative x is greater than or equal to 15 minus 8, which is 7. You see, you made a mistake here. And now,
Mm-hmm.
if I multiply both sides by -1, because I want to have x here, this x will be less than or equal to -7. And how about the
Mm-hmm.
second one? What did it say for the second one?
X is greater than negative 11 over 3.
No. So here we have +5. So I need to
Mm-hmm.
subtract. So here we have -3 over 2x will be less than -1 minus 5. So -1 minus 5 is, what is it? -6. And now I multiply both sides by -2 over 3. So this x will be, we reverse, -2 over 3 times -6, which is equal to negative, negative, positive. 2 times 6, 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have -7 to the left, shaded or closed, right? And here we have 4 open to the right. Interval notation will be -infinity to -7, inclusive union, and 4 to positive infinity. Okay, Mustafa, that means that you should have to practice equations more. When you practice, you can feel it. You can see your mistake. Otherwise, you just keep making this kind of mistake. Every time you make a mistake. It's a small mistake, but in math, you just make one mistake, everything will be wrong. I mean, your answer will be wrong. Okay, Mustafa, next time be a bit careful. So, and the next one is, the first one is or, the second one is and. And means that, once again, if you're talking about two statements, A and B, to be, for these two statements to be true, right? Both statements must be true. Okay. So that
Mm-hmm.
means that I will do my homework and read a book. So you're promising that you're going to do both of these tasks together. And now if you look at the number line, right, you see here, we're talking about the numbers that are greater than, right, or equal to -2, and less than or equal to and less than 5. And how do you show this? That means that x is greater than or equal to -2, and what is it? X is less than, what number is it? It is 5, right? And how about the interval notation? How do you show that? Starting from -2, inclusive, to 5, not inclusive. And, okay? And that's the difference. Although in daily life situations also, we use or and. Can you read this? Rewriting and inequalities. What do we do here? Read it.
Because the solutions to an and inequality falls between two endpoints, they are frequently written in a more condensed form.
Right? Inequality fall between two endpoints. They are frequently written in a more condensed form. What is the condensed form? As you see at the top, what did you write here? Instead of writing this x is greater than or equal to -2 and x is less than 5, right? I can just write in a more condensed form. What is that? Here we have -2 less than or equal to x less than 5. They mean the same thing, but the second one is more condensed, right? Simpler. Okay. Solving n inequalities. Idea is the same. We actually solve both inequalities separately. And after that, we just take the solution which is common, okay, to both inequalities. Can you read it?
The if the and part,
Yeah.
if the and inequality is written out, solve each part separately. If condensed, you can solve it all together, write working inside out. Then graph the show all possible solutions.
If condensed, right? Yeah, we're talking about two different inequalities, either the first one or the second one. Okay. And how do you solve this, Mustafa? Using the rules that we studied in our first lesson. What are those rules?
Um,
Addition property, subtraction property,
Subtraction.
multiplication property, division property, distributive property, right?
Hmm.
So those properties, that means that if I add the same thing, it doesn't change anything, right? If I subtract or multiply by positive number, multiply, divide by positive number, right? But of course, if you multiply or divide by negative number, at that time, we need to reverse the inequality symbol, okay? All right, directions, solve, graph, and write. Each solution in interval notation, okay? As interval
Hmm.
notation, really compact and condensed, really easy, but still a lot of students, they struggle to understand this. All right. So, you know how to solve this inequality separately, right? And we have already practiced. If you solve the first one, we get x is greater than -9 minus 3, -12 divided by 2 is -6. Mustafa, for and, I'm going to use this symbol, okay? Because it means and. So this means or in logic, okay? Because just I want to save time. And, okay, and this one is x is 30 plus 2 is 32 divided by 8 is 4. So that is less than 4, right? So on the number line, -6 is here, not inclusive, and 4 is here, also not inclusive, right? So all the numbers greater than -6, less than 4. So we are talking about this interval. And how about interval notation from -6 to 4? That's the solution set of this inequality. If you just pick any number from this interval and plug it into either in the first one or the second one, it satisfies both inequalities, right? And how about 10, Mustafa? We'll try 8, okay? And
Hmm.
10 is condensed interval, right? Sorry, inequality, right? So our goal is to isolate x. To do this one, first we have to remove that something is added or subtracted, and after that multiplied or divided. So what do you do in the first step here? We subtract 4, right?
Um, mhm,
Because 3p plus 4, what do we do here? First, we subtract 4, right? Number
mhm.
one, I subtract 4 from all sides. 4 minus 4, 0. 3p plus 4 minus 4, it is 3p. 19 minus 4, it is 15. So I use the property of addition, right? Subtraction. What is the next step? Divide
Divide all sides by 3.
by 3. So divide by 3, it is 0. Divide by 3, it is p. Divide by 3, it is 5. That's it. So between 0 and 5, not inclusive, 0 is here and 5 is here. So that is the solution of this inequality, right? On the number line. And how about interval notation from 0 to 5? Okay, Mustafa, what are we
Hmm.
learning here? Mathematical language, right? Okay, Mustafa, is it clear?
Hmm.
Okay, now try question 8 first, then you try question 9.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
What do we get?
W is less than or equal to 5, and W is greater than negative 10.
Negative
10.
10.
Wait. Yeah, 10,
No.
right? 5, both sides divided by 5. Oh, wait, that's 40. My bad. I put 50 on my notebook on accident. 40, so negative 8. My bad.
Negative 8. That's correct. So I can write here negative 8, right? Less than W, less than or equal to, right? 5. So 8 is here and 5 is here inclusive. And
Hmm.
all the way, right from here to here, any number will be solution. Okay. How
Hmm.
about interval notation?
Negative 8 and 5.
Okay.
Parentheses.
Inclusive, not inclusive. Okay.
Yeah.
Now question 9. Let's do it together, Mustafa. Tell me, what do we do in the
Okay.
first step here?
Add 1 to all sides.
Okay. So what is negative 2 plus 1?
Negative 1.
Negative 1, less than or equal to A,
A.
less than or equal to 7, right?
Hmm.
That's it. We have already isolated. We have a single A here. So negative 1 is here inclusive, and 7 is here inclusive, right? So all the
Hmm.
numbers on this number line will be the solution. So it is bracket inclusive negative 1 to 7 inclusive. Inclusive means brackets, okay, including the bounding
Hmm.
point. Okay, do 11 now in your notebook. And tell me your solution in the form of interval notation.
Parentheses, negative 3, and then negative 9 over 10, brackets.
No, that's not correct. Negative 3 is correct, but the other one is not correct. Can you find your mistake? Try again.
Oh, I see it. My bad. I see it. Negative 5. Should I simplify or
Yes, say, what is it?
parentheses, negative 3, and then 1 over 2 brackets.
Yeah, that's it. That's correct now, right? So if you just add 2, it is 30 greater than negative 10m greater than or equal to negative 5. Now we divide by negative 10. That's why we need to reverse the inequality symbols. So here we
Hmm.
have negative 3 less than m less than or equal to 1 over 2. So negative 3 is here, not inclusive. 1 over 2 is here, inclusive, right? So it is here. Okay, 12. Can I do it in 1 minute?
Hopefully. Can I say it in interval notation?
Yeah, just tell me what is the answer?
2 less than x less than 8.
Less than or equal to?
Less than or equal to, wait.
The first one, less than or
Less
equal to,
than
right?
or equal to. First one is less than or equal to.
Yeah, 2
And
and
the
less than
second
or
one is just
equal
less
to
than.
x less than 8, right?
Yes.
8. So 2 is here inclusive, 8 is not inclusive. So it's here. So here we have bracket 2 to 8 parentheses. Okay, that's it. Mustafa, now let's talk about absolute value inequalities. Okay, and after that I will finish uh, this chapter. And next chapter we'll
Mhm.
talk about functions. Okay, let me do these. Okay. Mustafa, once again, absolute value means that, it's a distance. In math, usually this symbol, this two vertical line of when you just write x, we mean that it's a distance. In one-dimensional space, it's a distance between 0 and x. Okay. But
Mhm.
if I write, like, for example, let's say a minus b, we mean that it's a distance between point A and point B. The geometry interpretation is this. Absolute value means the distance. If I write like this, for example, let's say with double, okay, u minus v. So that's a distance between two vectors. Okay, in general, this was used for distance. Maybe when you take in advanced math, you'll understand meaning more. But how about in one-dimensional space? One-dimensional space means that it's just a number line. Okay, and now suppose I have 2 points here. Let's say this is A and this one is B. How can I find the distance between these two numbers? In math, we use this notation. How do I write this? It is absolute value of A minus B. So that means that it tells me the distance between these two numbers. And we know that distance is always positive or non-negative, right? Because if A and B, they are the same number, at the time it is 0. So that's why the absolute value is, what is it? Always non-negative. But how about if I write inequality? How should we understand this? For example, x absolute value of x is greater than or equal to 7. What is the meaning of this? So the meaning is you're talking about the numbers on the number line, which are 7 or more units away from 0. It means this. So how do I show this? If I ask you, for example, Mustafa, what numbers are 7 or more units away from 0? Can you tell me some examples?
8, 10,
8,
200.
10, 11, 12, 100, 1 million, right? We have infinitely many, right? And that's why
Mhm.
we are using, this arrow. So from here, 7, right? All the numbers to the right, they are 7 or more units away from 0. And also all the numbers from -7 to negative infinity, right? They are, what is it? 7 or more units away from 0. That's it. It means this. And now, how do we show this in number line? We have just done this, right? So that means that from negative infinity to -7 inclusive, or from 7 to positive infinity inclusive. I'm saying that if you just pick any number from this interval, they are at least 7 or more units away from 0. And how about if we have absolute value of x is less than or equal to 4? Okay. So I'm saying that that means that what numbers are 4 units or less than 4 units away from 0. So what numbers? They are 3 or 2 or maybe 0 or 1, right? So how do we show this? At the time, we know that from -4 inclusive to 4, right? Any number between them, as you see here, they are maybe 4 or less than 4 units away from 0. And how do we show this? Also, we have just studied this. That is from -4 to 4. Okay. And what is the new thing
Mhm.
here? Just we are adding one more ingredient to our food. That is absolute value. That's it. Everything else, we are just using, the previous ideas. Now let's have a read it. We already know that, but let's read one more time and practice. Read it. Step number one.
Step one,
How is our purpose is how are we going to solve inequalities that involve absolute value expressions? Okay, okay, read it.
mhm. Step one, isolate the absolute value expression. Step two, create two cases using the KISS method. Keep it, switch the to set up the two cases. Three, solve both inequalities. Four, graph your solution and write your answer in internal interval notation.
Okay, so we have just studied or and. If it is greater than, that means we are going to use or. It is to the left or to the right. You see, on the first case, the numbers which are less than -7 or greater than 7. And how about the second one? The numbers that are greater than -4 and less than 4. Like, for example, here it has already isolated. So I had to consider two cases. So the expression inside this absolute value, right? When it is greater than 7, if this guy, x plus 6 is greater than 7, or this guy, x plus 6, is less than -7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense? Then after practice a few questions, Mustafa, we can feel it, it's not really hard. And now the first one, we know how to solve it. X is greater than 1, or second one is x is less than -13. And we now have to label this. -13 is here, not inclusive, to the left. And 1 is here, right? And the greater than to the right. And how about interval notation? From -infinity to -13, not inclusive. And from, what is it? 1 to +infinity. And how about the second one? It is less than, right? So that means that numbers that are less than 19 and greater than -19. So I'm going to write here 2v minus 3 less than 19 and 2v minus 3 greater than -19, right? At the time, actually, these things will be less than 19 units from 0. If you solve the first one, we will be less than 22 divided by 2. It is 11. And how about this one? -19 minus plus 3, -16 divided by 2. V is greater than -8. So less than 11 is here. 11 is to the right. Okay. Greater than -8, less than 11. Where is it? -11, -8. And 11 is here, right? So all the numbers here. So in interval notation, from -8 to 11. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it, Mustafa. If you just understand the main idea of math, those rules, and the math is not really hard. Just you need to practice if you learn new concept, and that's it. Mustafa, now try question 3. Do it in the notebook. Also, your hands, eyes should get used to it. Then we'll start. Okay?
Hmm. I'm not certain if this is correct, but I got K is less than or equal to 18 and K is greater than 12.
No, it should be opposite. If I just write instead of this expression, Mustafa, instead of what is absolute value, if I just write here x, right, greater or equal to 1, what does it mean? On the number line, right? And here we have -1, and here we have 1. The solution is like this, right?
Hmm.
Right? So you should, that means that x should be less than or equal to -1, or x is greater than or equal to 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
But instead of x, we have this guy. Now I'm going to go solve it for k. All right. Good. If you understand number one, that one is really important. So I'm going to write two things here. -5 plus k over 3 is greater than or equal to 1, right? Or -5 plus k over 3 is, what is it? Less than or equal to -1. If you solve the first one, I add 5, so it is 6, right? Multiply by 3, so k is greater than or equal to 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the second one, I add
Wait,
negative.
wait, wait, wait. I got a
Yeah.
question. When you multiply both sides by something, don't you switch the thingy?
If it is negative, if you multiply by negative, a positive, you don't do anything,
Oh,
right?
that's what I did.
If
Okay.
we multiply or divide by negative number, at that time we switch, we reverse the inequality symbol. Because positive, you don't do anything. Positive means just stretching something in the same direction,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this one. So here, if you add 5, it is 4 multiplied by 3. So this k will be less than or equal to 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So that means that k should be less than or equal to 12 or greater than or equal to 18. Where is 12? 12 is here. Less than, it is this direction pointing to the left, or 18 here to the right. This interval notation, -infinity to 12, bracket inclusive, and 18 to positive infinity. You can check any answer. For example, let's say from this solution, the first one, right? -infinity 12. Pick one number. Let's say, for example, -15, right? Check it. -15 divided by 3, -5, right?
-5,
-5 plus -5 is
-10.
-10. So absolute value of -10 is 10, right? 10 is
Mm-hmm.
greater than or equal to 1. That's correct. And how about the second one? Suppose that, let's say 18. So 18 divided by 3, it is 6. 6 plus -5 is 1. 1 is greater than or equal to 1. That's also true. But if you pick any numbers between 12 and 18, you will get wrong statement here. Like, for example, let's say what do we have here? 15. 15 divided by 3, 5. 5 plus -5 is 0. 0 is not greater than 1 or equal to 1. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do question 4 and we'll finish the class. Okay?
Mm-hmm. n is greater than or equal to -5, or
Not or,
n
and
is
here,
less
right?
than or equal. What?
It's and here, not or.
Mm-hmm.
Because less than or equal to, right, should be between these two things, okay? So -5 is less than or equal to n, and
And uh n -17/2.
-17/2. Okay, let's see. Look, the first thing is I can just write it in context form. What numbers actually are, just suppose it's 7 minus 4 and it's x. Numbers are less than or equal to 27 units from 0. So those numbers must be between -27, less than or equal to 7 minus 4n, right? Less than or equal
Mm-hmm.
to 27. Number one, did you write like this?
Yes.
Okay. Now we subtract 7, right? Okay, if you subtract 7, -27 minus 7, -34, less than or equal to -4, and less than or equal to 27 minus 7 is, it is 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now if I divide all sides by -4, here we have 17/2, because negative number, I reverse, here we have n, reverse -5, right? If I write
Mm-hmm.
here, that means that from -5 to 17/2 inclusive.
Mm.
Because I need to rewrite this one. Usually we always write this from smallest first, then the largest, right? So I should write this here as -5 less than or equal to n, less than or equal to 17/2. On the
Mm.
number line, -5 is here. Let me change the color so you can see better. -5 is here inclusive. And 17/2, that's 8.5. It is somewhere here. So all the numbers between these two numbers, right, it will be solution to this inequality, inequalities.
So I just have the numbers on different sides.
Yeah, but
Mm.
it's okay.
Okay.
After you have some idea, but you need to practice, without
Mm-hmm.
practicing, you can have knowledge. Okay, so this one, I really like this, KEI, right? To be able to be
Mm-hmm.
good in math, actually, you need to have this KEI. What is that? K stands for knowledge. Now you're getting some knowledge. And after that, you have some knowledge. That means, you know, what does absolute value mean? What does less than or greater than or inequality mean, equation mean, and how to solve it. And the second step is experience. And to gain experience, you need to solve practice questions, right? And now you have knowledge and experience together, combined together, you'll have, I don't know, they produce it, it comes from outside. We will have insights. Insight means that, I think that it should be like this. Oh, I think it must be like this, right? That's insight. If you have knowledge, if you have experience, then you'll have insight. Okay, when you look at the question, immediately you have an idea how to do that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, you continue practicing these questions. You have to practice some questions. I
Mm-hmm.
will finish this, okay? And I will send
Mm-hmm.
maybe new papers. If you can print, it will be great. On the
Mm-hmm.
table. If not, I don't know what can I say. So next week, not next week, yeah, next week, right? So Monday, we will start a new chapter. It's about functions, okay? Functions, how to find its domain and evaluating, blah, blah, because functions are fundamental concepts in advanced math. Advanced math means that, what is it? High school math and the college math, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, that's all for today. I'll see you next Monday, okay?
Bye.
Bye-bye.